Welcome, everyone. We've got a nice short show today or a session today. We're going to be going over a few new things or revisions that have happened in the last few days that we would just want to pass along to everybody. Hopefully some good news for people. We do have Athena's here with us, and then a face that you may not have seen for a while, but welcome back. Josh, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Very good. Very good. All right. Well, we've got a short window here because Athena's got a session in about 30 minutes that I don't want to overlap. So if she does drop off, that is why she's getting ready for her session. Let me click over here. All right. Tonight, again, we're gonna try to keep this to 30 minutes or less, but want to remind you that we have a developing state events session tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, right after this, that Athena will be presenting. I'll drop the comment or the link in the comments as we get closer to the end. Let's see, Michael is not here tonight. He is setting up in Albuquerque currently, so he wasn't able to join us. So Athena's going to go over our new deposit method that kind of accompanies our withdrawal method that we pushed out in the last couple of weeks. And then Josh is going to talk about the updated ACL board stamp policy and the director retail policy for local directors. And then we'll finish up with some questions and some final thoughts from there. So, all right, you two ready to go?
Ready.
All right. So, Athena, you want to give just a quick intro into what you're going to be doing tonight with the developing state events?
Yeah, so the developing state events is going to kind of be a combination of a little bit of everything that we've already gone through earlier in the season. So there's a lot of new information that is in there. So just make sure that you tune in, and we'll go over all of that later. All right, perfect. So payment labs deposit. So most of you have already kind of gone through the withdraw portion of payment labs and walked through a lot of players with that, walked yourselves through it as well. Just a couple of quick updates with that. We are currently live with the deposits for payment labs. Again, same thing. It's, increased efficiency, record keeping. You can choose a default payment setting, which is great because if you want to have your checking account information and your debit card stored, both of those are able to be stored. There is increased security with your, social security number and everything. It's the exact same way when we had interchecks earlier, in the season, where if you had created a new account, first deposits, withdrawals, anything like that, you'd have to get your W-9. So it's the exact same thing. It just looks a little bit different. But they do hold all of the information there in one secure spot and within your wallet, so you're not having to jump in between multiple screens. It also helps with international tax policies. And we do have some really exciting additions that are coming with it. That is international currency, which is going to be phenomenal for anyone overseas or our neighbors over here in Canada as well. Also, the Google Wallet and Apple Pay is going to be integrated as well. So everything's kind of going through a couple of steps just to make sure that everything goes through proper testing and we make sure that everything works for everyone. Now, your first time depositing does require you to set up your Payment Labs account and your default payment method option. So just make sure that you kind of follow all of the different prompts. Another great thing with Payment Labs is their customer service is phenomenal. We've received a lot of really, really good feedback that if there's any issues or questions, you send off a request to their email that they have, and they are very, very quick to respond and kind of provide a little bit of insight. Same thing with, just a quick reminder with withdrawals, it is with banking hours. So that may or may not be fully the case with the deposits as well. So in case you do create a deposit a little after 5 p.m., you might not see the full deposit until later on the next business day, but most of them seem to be going through very, very quickly. But other than that, we're really, really excited. It's much higher security, so it's really, really good for everyone. Once we get through this first initial run, it's going to get a lot smoother, a lot easier, and, later down the line, I think you guys will enjoy it a lot more.
Yeah, just to kind of piggyback on that, that is a major reason why, some of the other updates that Athena and Michael post regularly have slowed down over the last 4 to 6 weeks. It's because this withdraw and payment and deposit integration has really just taken priority to make sure that we are in compliance. Security is there, all that good stuff. So now that this is fairly close to being done, some of those other updates and bugs that you've been requesting get updated. Sean's going to start knocking those out as well. So in this, the payment labs should have much better documentation in terms of like tracking your deposits and withdrawals so that you can get an easier kind of overview of your records and stuff like that. So, okay. All right. So we've obviously earlier this season, I think over the summer time, we introduced the ACL board stamp policy to everybody. Got a lot of feedback over the last several weeks. Josh has been talking individually with our licensees and getting feedback from them. And just within the last couple of days, Josh, Ron, and their team, the licensing team has updated and revised our policy. And Josh, I want to turn it over to you. This is kind of in your wheelhouse. You know this better than anybody. So best for you to kind of go over the updates for everybody.
Thanks, Todd. So basically, you guys all spoke and we listen. We hear you. We're making things better for you guys, the directors. You guys are first line to the ACL. So going forward, starting with the October 2026 board stamp requirement, local events will not require the stamp. So local directors, you will not need to, redo your whole inventory with the stamp. You're more than welcome to. I mean, we encourage you guys to still use stamp boards, stamped equipment. If you're not going to use stamp boards, we still ask that you follow the board policy outlined in the rules and regulations, that there's still going to be, decent quality boards, because the players will let Athena and Michael know if you're not using quality boards. And you don't want to have that conversation with them. But basically, if you're a regional director or state director, area manager, and you're running a local event, you do not need to have the stamp boards at the local event, but regional and higher events will need the stamp boards come October 2026. That's still a year and a half away, a little more than a year and a half away. So there's plenty of time to do that. There should be an updated list on the website. I can provide it in the director group too, of all the board stamp makers. There is a new one. I don't want to act like I'm showing any favoritism, but everybody's known the same ones that have been out there. But a new board maker is Colorado Cornhole Connection. They just came on about 2 weeks ago. So along with BG, All Cornhole, West Georgia Cornhole, and Ultra, they are also board makers. So if they're not on the website, we'll get them soon. So it's a great thing. We're not changing the bag stamp policy. That's still staying the same. So non-expired stamps will still need to be used at local events and higher. And then the next thing we're doing is retailers. So before today, if anybody wanted to be a retailer for the ACL, directors, cornhole stores around the country, you had to, if you wanted to sell ACL stamped equipment, you couldn't sell anything unstamped cornhole related boards or bags. We are loosening that up a little bit, where cornhole retailers and then local directors can sell unstamped boards and bags at your events, in your stores or whatnot. But we don't want you to promote that unstamped equipment as like pro quality or like top of the line. because our, pro bags, pro boards, those are the, the cream of the crop. So thanks, Todd. there's a one. So don't promote any, you can't sell anything from a competing organization, league, bags, board, software. You cannot sell competing equipment. You could sell unstamped, for example, like corn bags or your basic duck canvas and suede bags. Like you can sell those bags and try to reel in that buyer and say, hey, when those bags, like when the squirrel comes and eats those corn-filled bags, come back and upgrade to these bags, comp pro bags, etc. And like I said, you can't promote them. They're strictly recreational bags and boards for the unstamped. I think that's pretty much it. Athena, can you think of any questions?
No, I believe that covered it. Now, is there a certain place or does it matter where local directors, if they obtain these unstamped bags, is there a certain way that they need to obtain those to sell them, or is it just more so what they make if they make them themselves?
It's more so what they make, because they're technically recreational bags, so you can't use them in any points events. So it's basically, John Smith comes into the bar to watch the basketball game, and he sees this little cornhole tournament happening, and he goes, oh, that squirrel ate my bags at home, so I need new bags. He goes up to the director and asks for bags, and currently the backyard player is, it's sticker shock when they see, comp and pro bag prices. So if you could sell them those, cheap corn bags, and then hook them in when you say, hey, when the squirrel comes back for round 2, come back and upgrade these bags, and then start playing in some of my blind draws. That's how you get that new player in there.
Okay. All right. So now that you've heard that, are there any questions out there? I know we've got some viewers, but not all of our directors. So this is recorded and it'll be shared with all the directors within the next couple of days or so that they can review it as well. If there are questions, certainly reach out to your area managers. They got all this information last night. So they'll be able to at least answer your questions, or at the very least, they'll be able to find out the answers. Josh is always available, Josh at IPlayCornhole.com, for questions around this stuff as well. So, but really, we've got a kind of a shift in focus coming that we are actively working on behind the scenes with kind of the direction of the ACL and our focus. A lot of this focus is based off of our players' feedback. And one of the first dominoes to kind of fall in this is this new revised licensing policy, where we want to be a little bit more flexible at the local level, because that is the entry point to learn how to play the sport in a competitive fashion. So we want to loosen those restrictions at that local level, while still maintaining, the kind of the awareness around standardized equipment and high quality equipment, so that we're following, what we're starting to promote a little bit more is our fair play initiative, where once you go to an event, a highly competitive event, whether that's a regional or something higher, you're going to be playing on high level equipment. So we do have, but behind the scenes, we are working really on kind of a new structure, new direction, I guess. And this is going to be something that will be communicated over the upcoming months. A big focus is continuing on the club local level, how we implemented this year, and then just really kind of beefing up on it and just a focus on really bringing in those new players into the kind of the ACL ecosystem, as Stacy likes to say. So at the state level, state events are still going to be our one of our higher level non-open level events. The state and the interstate model is about 6 months old now. We're working through some of the pain points on our end, but we really see that as kind of the future, along with our community and our groups and our clubs and whatnot. At the state level, our area managers are really trying to identify those people who are, really understanding the direction of the ACL and where we're going, and buying into the philosophy and whatnot of the ACL. We're really trying to identify those leaders in the cornhole community that can then really support regional and club directors throughout their states. So that's just kind of something that we're actively working on. But Josh has been around long enough. Athena's been around a couple of years now. We never like to just stand pat. We try to innovate. We try to keep pushing the barrier and increasing the awareness of the sport around the globe, so that we can just make this a global impact, a global sport where anybody can play. So, but yeah, anybody have any questions they want to drop in the comments? Or Athena, Josh, do either of you have anything to add on to my word salad of a ramble there?
Yeah, I guess I can add on, just a little bit. Any director can become a retailer for the ACL. I'll get you the link to DLH, our direct licensing hub, and you just fill out an application. It's completely free. There's no reporting that you have to do. There's no royalties that you have to pay. Basically, every new season, you're just going to renew your application in DLH. So you got to log in there once a year. That's it. And you qualify for wholesale pricing from all of our licensees, boards and bags. And you reach out to any of those, board makers or bag makers, and they can get you their prices. We don't set the prices. That's up to each licensee. But they can get you wholesale prices, and you can resell all those bags and boards and make a few bucks off of it. You can even set up some drop shipping with them, where if you have your own website, like I'm guessing club websites, maybe, I don't know how that works, but if you have your own website, you can link boards and bags to your website, and it'll send it off to the licensee, and then you just get paid as you make the sale. So that's a very easy way for you guys to make some extra money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great point. I think as we've seen the ACL evolve, there's different types of directors with different motivations. Some directors are trying to make this into a full-time business. Others love the idea of maybe making or supplementing their income, and then others like to it's part of their just giving back to the community, offering something for people in the community, and they're not looking to make any money. It's more or less their kind of night out that they're enjoying, organizing something for people. So there's really for those people, obviously the retailer is maybe not your cup of tea, but for those first two options, this is another great way to generate some revenue for yourself. And my hope really is that each director on their club pages can one day have their own store, their own ACL shop on their pages, so that they can sell directly from their club page, make some commission, and whether it's drop shipping or ordering directly from the shop website, that's something I keep pushing. And the more I put it out there in the universe, maybe it'll one day come true. So
it sounds like you just tasked Athena to do that.
Well, I brought it up to Ron a couple times, and he's like, "I'm too busy right now to even think about that." So I gotta drop it, but it's always in the back of my mind, because I want those club pages really to be a robust tool for directors to be able to not only show the standings and statistics and whatnot, but be able to do a whole slew of other things. And we're just trying to catch up at this point. But the technology is part of this master plan that we are working on in the background, and which we're, once we get a little bit more clarity on timelines and stuff like that, we're going to be kind of rolling that out to the different director levels. So, okay.
And board kits, sorry, I'm jumping in again. Board kits, you can reach out to the board manufacturers, and some of them sell ACL rec stamp kits where they send you all the pieces and then you put it together and you can sell those, as your boards, right? And they're actually rec stamped. You can't use them in, the regionals and above come October 2026. So that's another great option for you to make some extra money if you are hands-on like that.
Cool. All right, Josh, good seeing you. Thanks for joining tonight and giving an overview. Thanks for all your hard work on this licensing policy. I'm sure it's quite detailed and involved, so I appreciate all the hard work.
Thanks for having me, and please keep the suggestions coming, everybody.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank
all right,
you.
and then just a reminder, head on over. I'm going to put the link in the comments right now to Athena's presentation. She's going to start here in just a minute, developing state events. This is open to all levels of directors. All levels of directors can support state events, or if you have aspirations of being a state director, you can kind of get some overview on that. So feel free to jump on over there. That's going to start in less than 10 minutes here. Other than that, thank you very much for joining me on short notice. And yeah, we'll continue to keep you guys updated. And now that the wallet stuff is close to being done, we're definitely hoping that we see some more and faster updates that Michael and Athena can get posted on our website. So,
Yep,
all
definitely.
Right.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, everyone.